Hello, and welcome to my channel, and Happy New Year. This is Katie in the Nest. I am so glad that you are here. You might be watching it today or a little bit later, but wherever you are, I'm just so grateful for your company. And gee, I hope you're excited because this is coming out around the 1st of January 2025 because it's the beginning of our first ever Katie in the Nest KiN collaborations. And even as I say that, I get the tingles because, talk about not knowing what's ahead. Certainly, this is a dream come true because I wasn't even watching YouTube this time in at the beginning of 2024. So this whole journey has been a gift, and this is a celebration share in that we are going to be doing some making together. So it's time to make our first pouch in the nest, and I'm here about to start. Now I am pre-recording this because by the time you'll know why. Hang on. It's hay fever season still in Australia, and as you're watching this, I'll be overseas on holiday. So I can't take all of this with me. So to get us started, I've been constantly reminded by this little treasure box that I got in my travels to the US in 2024 that when we sit together and commune and stitch, special times happen. It's got treasures in it, some of which I've raided and some of which I won't need. Okay, joy to the world is the theme, and you've got it now. I don't need to sing it to you, but please remember that's just inspiration. You don't have to be literal. And I was thinking about deep blue sea, but I've decided I'm going to, hold off on my blue to a little further down the track, and I'm going to start with my joyful colours, because truly these colours are the ones that have brought me joy as I've started this journey on YouTube, and I think I'm going to start with that. On top of that, I was gifted these beautiful hearts by Vanessa and Aka Willa May, and I looked at those three and I thought yellow, orange, pink. I had these two colours on my wedding invitation. I looked up joyful and happy colours. Apparently a lot of people love yellow. They may not wear it, but yellow is sort of a symbol of sunshine, and we look forward to whatever happens, the sun coming up. So that's my colour story. I thought I'd take you through what I've gathered in the nest. You don't have to do this, and you know me, I don't plan at all. So this is probably the most organised you'll see me being, because I'm trying to set a good example at the beginning. I've gathered things that I have put together and not used. So that's a piece like a cluster ready to happen. I'm going to unpack the nest. I found this fringe that you won't have seen, and that's from a packet I got from Zoe at the Green Door. And I was just thinking, even these are muted, they may lift a pouch. So everything I show you may not appear. That's just the proviso. I never can stick to a plan. Here's a bit of Fleur Woods' wool that I bought, and here is the binding that went around it. So my pouch, I need to have some of that because Fleur brought me joy. Remember, we want to tell a story. I've been hanging on to this piece for so long. It makes me happy and joyful just feeling it, and I think it's because the weight and the beads and the shells, and maybe there's a place for that. I found a thrifted trim that I'd forgotten I had, and birds bring us joy. Buttons from the sewing basket that just look good and feel good. Maybe they could be trinkets or treasures. Trim I've used before. It's already folded up. Suffolk puff. Left over from my pink crocheted pouch. I found this, and I hadn't thought previously of using that as a trim, or even maybe couching if I wanted to write a J for January. Who knows? Who knows? What else have I got in here? Miffy, she's pink, and she went on to my Betty quilt. So remember, this pouch that I'm going to make is going to fly away. So there'll be a little bit of Fleur, a little bit of Zoe, a little bit of Betty, and however that song goes, that's also from Betty. That's a trinket and a treasure. I found this braid. So it's funny when you go hunting, and in my case, tidying, and I started cutting out one of these flowers as like a little motif, and then I flipped it over and I thought, isn't that amazing? So I've got a second one of those, and who knows what shape, which way I'll go, but I love that as a daisy. And then I could do French knots in the middle. The offcut from where that came has got a fringe on it, so that could be a trim. We're getting through it. This will not go onto the pouch, but inspiration wise, my son bought this in Japan just before COVID at the end of 2019, and I've carried it in whichever pouch or bag I take every day since. And I think, again, it's the orange and a little bit of gold inspiration. Okay, so you've got the idea. I've got some bits down here, and finally I will get to the pouch. All of those sorts of things. Okay, in my hints video, I did say that I want the focus to be less on the pouch construction, because I know for some of you that might be daunting or something you haven't done before. So I've decided for this one that I am going to, I've just bought using a pre-made canvas pouch with a zipper. That's it. But because that's there, I can get straight on with you to the embellishing. And to start with, all I've done is get a joyful blanket. Remember, you may not use blanket at all, but I just love that feel. And so I've got that, and literally I've just, well, invisibly stitched it up there, both sides. I never know which side is the front. I'm right-handed, so let's make this side the front. And now we're going to just talk about other bits that I thought about making. This is my little travel book, pins and needles travel. I've got Kudamanja. So this is going to be a, what do you call it? Collage. I don't even know the right names. I've got, this is cut out of this piece, which could be my Thrift. Mind you, it's all, look, Vinny is $2. This was white and I dipped it in tea, so it looks a little less white. These are the bits off a doily that I've used in many works. In fact, that's smaller, so we'll see. So for me, it's all about textures, and I don't want to sound like a record, but layer upon layer. Little piece there. So these are appliques that I had floating around. I think I got this one in on a tray cloth very cheaply in Melbourne. So I hope by telling you these stories, I'm illustrating, like for me, I remember these pieces, or they will be significant when they fly from the nest for me. And that's what I want us all to do when we are making, to be reflecting on special people, who they're flying to, or is it going to be one that nests at your place for a while? So no wrong or right ways to do this, and please, 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 just have fun. Okay, I'm turning this into sort of an octopus flower. What else have I got? I've got spare bits of blanket that I probably don't need. I've got yellow fringe. I don't do it in order, but you may want to be someone who layers down all your fabric first. So for example, let's start another way, because we're learning, remember, and I'm just a learner as well. If you didn't have the blanket, you could be onto just canvas or muslin, and that could be your base piece. That is very pretty. Very, very pretty. And we could add to that. So let's have a play. There's an angle there. So let's go with that like that. The danger with this is I'll lose everything before I even get started. Maybe that's not the best flower shape, Kate. Let's do a bigger one. Now, someone did ask me a question about getting things the right colour. Please remember, you can dip things in tea or coffee if you want that vintage look, in food dyes, I think people use beetroot and avocado. I haven't tried that. I tend to eat my avocados. But, you know, it's too big. So I'll just put that to sleep for a minute. Here's a nice little pink that could hang over. And introduce some pink. So we've got pink up there and pink down here. I've got this fabric that remember, this is an old sheet from a thrift store. And see that flower, in fact, see, I've already changed my mind. I'm liking this. Not that I wasn't liking it, but I was going to do that other pattern. Have I got enough pins? I haven't brought this little one in with me, so maybe not. I need to do the stitching test. Actually, that's making holes there, but this is fine. So that's why I test the fabric out, and even with this, in fact, let's do that. Let's expose some blanket around this bit. Very, very. I think I'm going to take that top one off. Leaf. Even though it just made the flower, didn't it? Now you may be someone who wants to do your whole comp and pin it out and then embellish. And remember, they're just your style. You don't have to make yours look like mine. It's about experimenting and just finding the things that you love making with. So we're playing this afternoon. That's what this is. It certainly may not finish up like this. And I wouldn't want to disappoint the person who it flies to by saying, for them thinking, oh, you showed this and it's not there, because that's my style. So here we are, we've got an applique sort of feel already. I can embroider that. Let's put a little bit of this under there. And that becomes like a flower there. What else have I got? I'm just working on this. I'm working on this side because you won't believe it, I haven't got my pins. And this is the second go I've made. I've got one pin. Yeah, you can already see, well, I'm hoping we can get some ideas of. So if you're using flowers, just have fun because they are just so beautiful. I saw that, I did see that Beck uses these as whole flowers themselves, so maybe on the back, who knows. Will I start stitching? I feel I like a little bit more fabric that I could embroider later. I've got this little bit of doily as well. This is part of a big matching set. You can see I've harvested before. Let's get a little bit of this one. I don't really need those brown bits. So just over leaves. I mean, I make up rules, you know that. I don't like covering flowers, but if it's a leaf to a leaf, that's okay. Maybe not that yet. Now, if I could, I'm just going to give myself 20 seconds to see if I can find something. No, I haven't got it. I thought I might put some of Rachel's fabric in this piece so that it could genuinely, well, here's a bit down here, but it's not, well, it could be. I'd like to do some embroidering on her work because certainly the Roxy sisters have brought me, and Juju have brought me great joy. Sort of like, it's got a stamp as well. So let's put that down there because it's going to fly. And what else have I got that I could? Now this is very joyful pink fabric. I think this is from my mum. Okay, I don't know about those blue flowers, so let's just go this way. Okay, remember, it doesn't matter if you, I mean, I do realise New Year's Eve is quite a busy day to be starting a project on. So it doesn't matter when you start and when you finish. And we're always just going to be realistic. So in a fortnight's time, I would just check in with my progress. That's it. There'll be no extra prompt. It'll just be, how are you going? This is where I'm up to. And then at the end of the month, I think I'll tell you on that day when I'm going to show the finished one, and by then I'll have worked out how to actually work out who's going to get it. I've been trying to do some research, and I can see that other YouTubers do those sorts of things. So here's that's a little woolly crocheted flower. Okay, shall we commit to that as a start? I think so. It's a lot of white in here, but that gives me lots of opportunity to embroider. Okay, I've got just some, what's that called? Crochet cotton. Okay, now the only thing because and if you don't like doing this, remember, don't do it. If you're using a pouch that's already made, you just have to be comfortable with stitching into it. So I'm not going into the canvas at all. You could use wadding if you wanted, or you don't have to put anything down. All choices are yours. And my biggest excitement is going to be seeing what we all make. Now, again, bold new start at the start of the year. I know that some people use hashtags. Now, I don't actually know what a hashtag does, but I've thought of one called Make with Kate, and I'm going to put it up there. And if anyone is making videos or YouTube, Instagram posts or whatever, I think we'll see if that works. If it doesn't, we've got the Facebook group, and just post on Instagram and tag, because I know we all watch different things to get our little fixes of slow stitching. So literally that was just to get that down, and I'll come back in decorative colour. How did I have that? Oh, I like that there, but it breaks my rule. So, shall we tuck that garden into that garden? Yep, no flowers lost. We'll have that shape there, but that can always be covered in. And sometimes I like the blanket showing. Now you might be saying, I could rescue those leaves, which I might for another time. Harvest them. Which means I could probably do that with this. So see what I'm doing? It's, I have no idea. It's just the creative joy of doing this and knowing that we're all in it together, and there will be a story to tell. You can see I'm determined. I want that piece there, don't I? And I don't like these little blue bits. I'm biased today. So any fabric can do. Maybe stop fighting with that side and come down this side. The garden. Yes. Which means my piece of this can go, I feel it needs to go on this side. So, oh, it could be a postmark up under there. And it's got a little bit of fray. Okay, that's a start. Okay, and I do stand up sometimes and have a look because it helps. I know that I want that flower to join to that stem. This might be a 3D part of the garden. Lots of stitching and embroidery to go in there. And let's just do a fast forward. Let's, in the blink of time, think the next time you see it, it should be halfway done. I'll have to stop myself because I get into rolls and just want to, but I'll be disciplined. See, okay, so this is the learning. If I wanted to use that, I would then adjust all of this down because there's no point in covering up all of that gorgeous stuff there. So it might mean that my trim is confined to this because I can still move. So this is where, if you want to play with your composition first, do that. Because that we don't want to lose the flower. And see, I look at this now and think that orange is too deep for this piece, the way it's going. But this cluster may end up, or on the other side. Okay, so because we're brand new into the new year, we don't want to get overloaded. I will ring the bell and wish you very, very good cheer. I will be back with this pouches project in, about the 15th of Jan. And I'll share where I'm up to. In the meantime, we can share on the Facebook group. The ideas are flowing. That's very white for Kate down there. Please know that won't stay like that. So happy making. Let's just remember the purpose of this is joy. Joy to you and me. Together we are, it's a special time. So thank you. Even if you're considering being involved, it means so much to me that our little family of stitches might be growing together and sending pouches to friends and loved ones all over the world. So I'll stop raving on now, getting a little bit emotional. Ring the bell, Kate, with your dingle dangle. Time's up. Until next time, this is Kate in a Nest saying Happy New Year. Bye.